start like this. Who is the leader of the political party?
A leader of political party, according to the structure and the constitution of the political parties that I've seen, is the chairman of the party. And
both at the national
and
and
both at the national and the state. They are the one. That is the internal democracy. That's the normal way. That's the norm. That's the way it's supposed to be. And their own is not about the governance. Their own is to ensure that the party is stabilized and be able to carry out, to guide the executive to carry out the manifesto of the party and preparing for election and subsequent elections.
Yeah. Solomon, but in the country, we have rewritten the rules, right from former President Obasanjo through to yesterday. The president at the national level assumes leadership of the party and the governors at the state.
Well, it's an amazing setup where it seems to me is a structure that underlines the winner takes all mentality. At some point, if you understand the way the politics of the country runs, then you will understand that the president or the governors at the state or national level must not be seen to be undermined by certain other interests other than that of the president and the governors in their political parties. And I think that that has been one of the features of the APC government generally this time.
Ojo, so are you surprised at what's playing out in the APC?
Well, it seems that the party is also running into the errors of the past government. And what's supposed to be is that the party issue should be party issue, and the governance should be governance. And the mandate of the chairman of the party is to determine what is happening in between the party. And that is what we call the internal democracy of the political party itself. So this is the internal working of the parties. There should not be interference of the president or giving directives to the parties. Is the party affairs should be run by the executive that have been appointed or elected by the parties during their Congress. And that one will show that they have internal democracy. But now, just because of issue of favorism and the issue of looking for a position or recommending people for position by the party leader, personal issue is now creeping in that makes the party leaders not to have the power they're supposed to have, just because they are not really practicing the internal democracy that's supposed to be.
So if a given party is going the wrong way, can't Mr. President or a Mr. Governor right the wrongs?
Well, it is
without being dictatorial.
It is not it can do that because he's also a member of the party. We cannot take that from the president or for the governor or for whoever is occupying an executive position. It's also, it got to that place based on the constitution that you have to be a member of a political party. And that means that they can really see that something is going on wrong. It can really suggest, but it's not to dictate and say, this is what I want, this is what is going to happen in the party, and then dictating, supporting a group from the other. What the executive or whether president or governor need to do, as the case may be at that federal or state level, is to ensure that, okay, this is my suggestion. He can write it. And he should do it in such a way that the other party members are doing it, not as executive being a veto or dictating for the parties. But that is not what we are having in Nigeria. It happens during the President Obasanjo's time. It happens during Yar'Adua time, happened during Jonathan time. And we can see that.
So it must continue.
Now it is that this party should watch it because they too are running into the errors of the past.
Yeah. So Solomon, let's bring it home. So the APC is here.
Yeah.
At the center and in 24 states around the country.
Before I come to that, basically, you must understand that the scenario he's just painted about the primacy of the political party over the individuals in it, from wherever we borrow these things from, is a situation of where all things are equal.
Solomon from the West. We borrowed from the West.
Yeah, so wherever we borrowed it from is about all things being equal. But then you talk about application here. The interest of the party is whose interests? Is the interest?
Whose interest?
Is
Very
whose
pertinent
interest?
question, yeah.
That's the issue we need to talk about here. You saw the things that played out at the point of appointing the principal officers of the National Assembly and how the word went around that the candidates were not the party candidates and all of that. And then the president had to sit back. Was it the president's interest? Was it the party's interest? Or was it certain individuals' interest? And so these are things you need to always look at, that we have not gotten to the point where the primacy of the party over certain individuals in the party or certain principal individuals in the party has become overriding. Okay. Until we get to that point, then we can then talk about the issue of the primacy of the party.
Address this issue I was going to raise. 4 of the governors insist the leadership of the APC at the national level, the tenure must be extended by a year, until Mr. President said, no, go back to the books. The laws don't say so.
Now, that's interesting. So in the first place, a party as big as that, how come that those who talked about adding or elongating the tenure of the party executive didn't know that the law did not say that? Now, if they know that the law did not say that, why will they endorse that? And why did the president have to come back and call their attention to the law? So in whose interest were the governors making this position? That's the first question we need to ask. So the point about the primacy, again, of the party. So it becomes a situation where you notice that there are seeming divisions within the party about how it should operate, even though it has the laws.
Ojo, can we say, with the benefit of hindsight, or if you like experience, because APC is an amalgam, as I said at the beginning, of 4 distinct parties coming together, join forces, face the then ruling party, we're having these hassles?
I don't think so, because the way they have been operating the parties, and it seems that there is a cohesion, and they dump or drop the issue of this party before, that party before, and they are seeing themselves as one party, known as APC. But the issue of those governors supporting the elongation is because of self-preservation. Because from conjecture, you can see that they are not sure. Many of them are not sure, because they believe that if this president...
Sure of what?
Sure of
coming back.
Coming back.
They are not the only ones, but let me give you the names.
They are not sure.
Nasir El-Rufai, Ogbeni Rotimi Akeredolu, Yahaya Bello, Kogi State, and Simon Lalong, Plateau.
Yes.
They are not the only first-timers.
Yes, it's not only the first-timers. It's not only the first-timers. Even those who are not first-timers, they have their interests. They have their candidates. They have people they are already projected out. And they are not sure that if there is a change in the leadership of the party, it is possible for those their own candidates to come in. And now it will be, if you can have internal democracy now, that means that it will go again, it will be spreading. And then the democracy will be spreading. And that means that there will be no candidate that will be unopposed. And that means there will be primaries.
Solomon talked about the party's interest, and at this stage, what defines party interest over all other interests?
Yes, we know that you cannot override individual interests. It's what individuals that form the parties and the interests of those individuals. But what we're saying here is that when you look at the general members of the party, what are they saying? And this is the problem that happened at the last PDP, because they have only one form for President then Jonathan. And at the end of the day,
one what?
One form, candidature for candidate.
And there was only one form
only
on
one
offer.
Form, offer. Only one
Tells
form
you
printed.
there was no other.
There is no. And
there was no
and that's the reason those who are watching, and they can, history can repeat itself if we are not watchful. And those who are concerned, they are being watchful. They recognize the error that happened with the last administration, and they don't want the same thing to happen. That if they did not internalize the democracy, it will cause another crisis. because now they know they are sitting on gunpowder. We have Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu to bring them together, so to say. Now, those issue is down. Now, if we add this issue of elongation, and that's the reason the president have to come in here that, please, let us look at the Constitution. Even if it has nothing to say, it can really guide them. Although, we know that internal democracy is an issue for the parties to determine how it will be done. But it's proper.
Considering that in the last 3 years, APC has not held any neck.
Yes, they've not done that. And that's...
Is that proper?
It is not proper, we know that. It's not proper. And it is because there's some issues on ground which they have not resolved. And that's the reason they are trying to mend now. That, okay, if we are going to have every convention now, let us solve those issues. Because if they did not solve the issue, they will run aground just like PDP.
Which is why I emphasized to you 4 parties, different bedmates coming together. Yeah, yes, Solomon.
Maybe it's natural to make certain assumptions, predictive assumptions about what is to happen when they haven't happened. I do not think that would also be proper in this scenario. Well, the APC hasn't got to the point where it has said that only President Muhammadu Buhari is the sole candidate and it has the sole right. And talking about internal democracy.
But do you know the man has not indicated interest?
That's the point.
I understand.
We haven't got to that point. And so it will be a bit presumptuous to make such assumptions and say that the party is being careful about that.
Not unnatural.
Well, maybe, but you also need to understand that when we talk about internal democracy, how do we define what is internal democracy? Is it the elongation of the tenure of the members of NEC, of the tenure of the executive of the APC? Yeah. Is that per se what defines the internal democracy? What does the rule books of the APC say? Now, it seems to me that certain interest groups, which probably includes the president himself, are of the opinion that, okay, whereas some others want the tenure elongation, some others probably would prefer that we play strictly according to the rule book. So a party that hasn't had its neck for the past 3 years suddenly comes together and think, people came together and suddenly think, oh, the tenure of the executive should be stretched. What are they looking at? Why is it that the president had to come up and say, oh, okay, no, we need to take a look at that again? The president was at the meeting when that decision was taken. So it shows that it is not just about a certain interest. There are other interests. Yes. And that is not unnatural when you have about 4 power blocks jostling for primacy in a political party. And that's because the election is just here upon us, very close, and everybody is thinking about where alignment, realignment, repositioning, and what their chances...
The interest we are talking about. Yeah. Judge is viewing in from Lagos. Welcome, Judge. How do you do?
Good morning, Citizen Jones.
I greet you, sir.
President Jones, the gentleman on the left said something, that there ought to be a separation between the executive and the party. It is not practically possible. The president or the governor came to power on the platform of a party. The affairs of that party must be the concern of the president if governance is to be smooth and effective. A situation where the party is going one way and governance is going a different way cannot be harmonious for good governance. So you can see that in the United States, you hardly hear about party chairman. But the president and his party members, the president is always, always has a grip of his party members in parliament. That's what we see. But if that does not happen, governance will be difficult. That is what was playing out in Nigeria, where the party that won election, that has a majority in parliament, has been turned into opposition by its own members because the president did not take interest in party governance.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge.
For it to be corrected, what is happening now has to happen. The president has to take interest in what is going on in the party because errors have taken place as a result of misgovernance by the leadership of the
Judge,
party.
thank you, but without appearing to be dictatorial.
There is no dictatorship in this.
No, I'm just, come on.
The president really pointed out that there are laws guiding the party and governance, and both laws state that what the party was about to do was not right. So that is not dictatorial in my view.
No, I didn't suggest he was. I drew a parallel from 1999 and now, when former President Obasanjo appeared to have been the be-all and end-all of the PDP.
Yes, that is true, but this is not the same situation with what we have at hand now.
Okay.
This one is advisory. There is no evidence, in my view, to show that the president is being dictatorial to the party.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. So, you caused it.
Yes.
When I say you caused it in a literal sense.
Yes, what I mean by that is that when I'm talking about the internal democracy, when we're talking about the party, like he gave a scenario about the United States of America, the party issue is made party. It's never made in governance. And because you will not see the president of America coming out to make any pronouncement on issues that bordered on the party, because that issue will be dealt with in their internal level, their internal process.
That's it.
Because when the president,
because whatever happens inside your party is not of concern to the general public.
It's not a concern to the general public, and it's not issue that the president should just come in the public and make. That's what I'm saying. That it will be as if what the past administration have been doing, openly controlling. Because once you said something as a president, when the president is saying, this is the way we should go, you know, ordinarily, because of his office, because of his position, there is tendency that people will move to that side.
Okay.
And if it is something of party, we will not hear it. It will not be, it will be within the party. Generally, we know that the position taken by the president is the position taken by the general members of the party.
All right, let me get to know what position Mohammed in Apapa has taken. Mohammed, welcome. He's off the line. Solomon, at this point, I want to share a quote credited to the great writer and novelist George Bernard Shaw. You are familiar with it. He said, the secret to success is to offend the greatest number of people. End of quote.
That's Machiavellian.
No, because it was a question, why would governors of same party be at loggerheads, especially approaching an election, and the need to reinvent itself is on the cards?
Well, I think there are two main reasons. One, he made mention of self-preservation, what their self-interest could be. Then the other is...
Sorry, Solomon. Let's not keep Calvin in Port Harcourt waiting. Calvin, welcome. Are we in business? Are we in business, Calvin? Calvin is not quite ready for us, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is that the president had kept aloof before this time. I think that the president could have checked this situation that is coming so close, just 1 year before the elections. He could have nipped this in the bud if the president had played a more active role in some of the things that have happened in the party over the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years, the party had not had its neck. So the president did not wade in. The things that happened in the National Assembly were literally, as the other caller pointed out, that the party is turned into an opposition seemingly, you know, in government. And the president didn't do anything about it. And so the president is coming at this time to intervene. I would have thought that if the president had taken a more active role in what's been going on in the party.
Or if you like, proactive.
Fine, right.
So let me quickly, Calvin is here from Port Harcourt. Calvin, good morning, welcome.
Correct me now.
Yeah, you are on. Calvin, this is serious business. We can't afford the distractions.
Yes.
Are we in business? All right. Yeah.
So The president needed to have taken a more active role before this time, and I think that's why the party is where it is at the moment. Well, they say it's teaching time saves 9, but let's see what he can do within this period. Now, the scenario in the United States is that the presidency or the president is actively involved in the things that happen within the party. Now, the political system, the format of governance in the United States is not the same thing as that of Nigeria.
And in some, let me, yeah. So I'm saying, let's go briefly to the United States. Yeah. Trump is going through some rough patch, a rough patch now in the U.S. Should that interest the party or the country?
Well, the way it is, those decisions or those things that he's going through literally affects the country. So it's not just a party thing.
Okay.
So he might have his, he might be at variance with some members of the party. Yeah. That influences the decision he makes in appointment. And these appointments are not party appointments, they are national appointments. So they directly affect issues of governance.
So sometimes you must draw the line.
Yes, at some point you must draw the line, but you must also understand that in the Nigerian case, maybe then we should change the rule books that the president is the leader of the party and that the party does not need a chairman.
Oh, come on. Bello is in Kaduna. I hope I got that right. Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
I greet you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go on.
I want to contribute, sir.
Go on.
About our political parties, especially APC, even though with PDP.
No, let's talk about the subject matter. APC and the politics of reinvention.
Okay. You know what baffles me here is that a platform that will put you into a platform that will put you into position of power will now turn out to be your footstool. In other words, it will now turn out to be under you, where you will be the leader, and anything you want to do, you will do it regardless of what the party wants. I see it very, very unfortunate.
Okay.
The party should tell you what to do, even if you are the president or the governor. Not the governor telling the party what to do, or the president telling the party what to do.
Are you saying...
The party should be the platform where even the leadership can follow.
Are you saying that at no point in the business would you not have a common ground to stand upon?
No. What I'm saying here, even if the governor has anything to contribute, let it be in line with what the party is doing.
Okay.
You discover a governor is a governor, he does not even follow the party's manifesto.
All right.
So I don't know. I think our political parties should really stand on their ground to know that whatever the governor must be in line with the party. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ojo, you are the only legal head here. We are bloody journalists, so you are to lead us. Now you are talking about party politics and the rule book. We have heard the party is always supreme, except otherwise defined.
Yes, we know that every party, they have their own constitution, because I'm privy to a party being formed, and I've seen their constitution is a colleague working on it, and I helped him in contributing towards it. I've seen that they have that framework of law, just that we have the constitution governing the administration and running of the country. They have their own constitution, each party, and that's what the president is pointing out. What I'm saying is that it's not only the president that shared that opinion. You know, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu also have suggested that. He has made it known that let us have this internal democracy, let us have, don't let us elongate, let us go back. There is no provision in our law. He has said it before the president reiterated that. It's not that because of the interest, those who are supposed to have supported that, and also those who are supposed to have called for the NEC, and for the convention, for the election of the new executive body. They are the one because of what I said about the interest. But what I'm saying now is that as much as that's the pronunciation or what the president said is also in line with a normal, any of the members of the party or majority people that say, let us internalize our democracy so that it will reflect it out there. But as he said, that the president cannot be, because the position, once you're a president, you are now answerable to all Nigerians, irrespective of the party. Your own is to run the country to be successful, to be great.
Ojo, we have provoked a Mark here in Lagos. Mark, welcome. Hello, Mark.
Hello, good morning.
I greet you.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson said good morning. On the issue on the table here, I think we need to tell Nigerians the truth. I think the president is on the spot regarding his observation.
Yeah. Okay.
And the position of the president is absolutely clear. You can't run a party without rules and regulations. So I subscribe to the position of the president, and everybody should keep in line with the president's position, which is the law. It's not a question of position.
It's the law.
It's the law.
Yeah.
And we must be law-abiding. If you are a party member, you must stick to the rules of the game. Whether you are a governor or whoever you are not above the platform that brought you to the limelight. So I think the party should
draw the line.
Yes, at some point you must draw the line, but you must also understand that in the Nigerian case, maybe then we should change the rule books that the president is the leader of the party and that the party does not need a chairman.
Oh, come on. Bello is in Kaduna. I hope I got that right. Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
I greet you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go on.
I want to contribute, sir.
Go on.
About our political parties, especially APC, even though with PDP.
No, let's talk about the subject matter. APC and the politics of reinvention.
Okay. You know what baffles me here is that a platform that will put you into a platform that will put you into position of power will now turn out to be your footstool. In other words, will now turn out to be under you, where you will be the leader, and anything you want to do, you will do it regardless of what the party wants. I see it very, very unfortunate.
Okay.
The party should tell you what to do, even if you are the president or the governor. Not the governor telling the party what to do, or the president telling the party what to do.
Are you saying...
It should be the platform where even the leadership can follow.
Are you saying that at no point in the business would you not have a common ground to stand upon?
No. What I'm saying here, even if the governor has anything to contribute, let it be in line with what the party is doing.
Okay.
You discover a governor is a governor, he does not even follow the party's manifesto.
All right.
So I don't know. I think our political parties should really stand on their ground to know that whatever the governor must be in line with the party. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ojo, you are the only legal head here. We are bloody journalists, so you are to lead us. Now you are talking about party politics and the rule book. We have heard the party is always supreme, except otherwise defined.
Yes, we know that every party, they have their own constitution, because I'm privy to a party being formed, and I've seen their constitution. Is a colleague working on it, and I helped him in contributing towards it. I've seen that they have that framework of law, just that we have the constitution governing the administration and running of the country. They have their own constitution. each party. And that's what the president is pointing out. What I'm saying is that it's not only the president that shared that opinion. You know, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu also have suggested that. He has made it known that let us have this internal democracy, let us have, don't let us elongate, let us go back. There is no provision in our law. He has said it before the president reiterated that. It's not that because of the interest, those who are supposed to have supported that, and also those who are supposed to have called for the NEC and for the convention, for the election of the new executive body. They are the one because of what I said about the interest. But what I'm saying now is that as much as that's the pronunciation or what the president said is also in line with a normal, any of the members of the party or majority people that say, let us internalize our democracy so that it will reflect it out there. But as he said, that the president cannot be, because the position, once you're a president, you are now answerable to all Nigeria, irrespective of the party. Your own is to run the country to be successful, to be great.
Ojo, we have provoked a Mark here in Lagos. Mark, welcome. Hello, Mark.
Hello, good morning.
I greet you.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson said good morning. On the issue on the table here, I think we need to tell Nigerians the truth. I think the president is on the spot regarding his observation.
Yeah. Okay.
And the position of the president is absolutely clear. You can't run a party without rules and regulations. So I subscribe to the position of the president, and everybody should keep in line with the president's position, which is the law. It's not a question of position.
It's the law.
It's the law.
Yeah.
And we must be law-abiding. If you are a party member, you must stick to the rules of the game. Whether you are a governor or whoever you are not above the platform that brought you to the limelight. So I think the party should go ahead. Whether it disintegrates with the right things, it's better for them to disintegrate with right principle than to scatter with unity, which is the journey we are just coming from with the PDP. So this is my observation. Thank you.
You hit the bull's eye, as they say. Mark, you were on the mark there. We'll take a breather at this point. We'll return to the discourse of the morning. Please don't go away just yet. Okay, if you have just joined us, welcome. The talking point, APC and the politics of reinvention. I think I should also remind you, I have Solomon Ajuziogu and Barrister Ojo O.J. Akinwale still guesting. Gentlemen, aren't we peculiarly who we are? Is it principally Nigerian to behave the way we're doing? Or is it human? I'm sorry. Solomon, pointedly, every party, including the one Ojo is trying to form, has a manifesto, a set of rules, ground rules for it to play by. How come in Nigeria it must be different?
I think that generally as Nigerians, maybe a lot of people will not be agreeable to this. I think there's a general disregard of rules by a lot of people in the country. And I think that the political system is imperial in nature. It's based on a patronization system where the man who wears the cap has both the knife and the yam. And so everybody must line up behind it.
Even if it does not join in growing the yam.
Even if it does not join in growing the yam. Of course, we know that. In 1999 tells us that even if he was not part of a party. So everybody lines up behind the man who's got the yam and the knife. And everybody follows after what he wants. Now, talking about the situation with the APC, Re-invention, I think that there are two scenarios we should be expecting in this sort of thing, because those who are asking for elongation of the tenure of the executive are doing so on the premise that it will help keep the party intact going into the election year. All right.
Pause there. I'll lift the pause because we have provoked Peter here in Lagos. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
I greet you.
Yeah, I really want to contribute to this program, and I really want to commend you for your, your people have been at the best. Yeah, I want to talk about what's going on in Nigeria. The APC and PDP and other parties are doing the way the party line is structured in Nigeria. They are it's just about selfishness. It's just about their own families. It's just about their families. Look at in a country where we have over 140 people. It's just about parties. They don't even care if people have eaten. They don't even care about people who are dying. It's just about party. Where are the youth of this country? The people who have been seeing it over 20 years, still coming back today, still dominating the affairs of this country. They're eating their own future. They are coming to eat our own future. They are coming to eat our own children's future. And the youth are just folding their hands and allowing these old men to be playing with us. Look at the governors. They will come, they will go, they will recycle their own in-laws. That is injustice.
And outlaws, Peter.
That is injustice.
Thank you. Thank you very kind.
Are not the best. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I agree. Let's even follow that logic and expand it. Solomon Ojo, the youth, typified by you folks, me, I'm approaching my 70s. The youth is not interested in what goes on around them, except on the social media. And you don't win elections on the social media, do you?
On that last point,
yeah,
I will disagree a bit if the election was fair and fair. But the social media has become a tool of malleability, a perfect tool in public opinion engineering. And you see that playing out even in the elections in the United States. That is still a burning issue in the United States, how the social media,
some of the logic are kindergarten and
well, you might say
in nature.
You might say it is, but the truth of the matter is that it's a big factor in the politics of the world today. The only thing you might complain about is its prevalence within the Nigerian space.
Solomon, I'm sorry, let me, so I don't forget it. Yeah. In the United States of America, yes, the middle class, every class is involved in the social media gambit. But on election morning, Ojo, Solomon, yes, they go to vote. Not so here.
I think
not so here.
I think that's changing a lot here. The issue is
where the demographics from.
No, that's changing a lot here. A lot more people are also interested. It's not just noise on social media. The point is they keep asking the question whether their votes count. That's another point.
Do they go out to vote?
Well, I think that if you go by the figures, you see a situation where a lot of people in 2015 came out to vote.
Okay.
Well, what I would say...
We'll come back to that. Yakub has joined us from Dokbemu here in Lagos. Yakub, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Citizen Jones.
Yes, sir.
And good morning, Solomon, and the other gentlemen.
And Ojo, Barrister Ojo, Akewale.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, Citizen Jones, for me, we found ourselves in this problem that we have today when we are talking about party politics. And the first mistake that Mr. President made is when he believes that he can work with anybody, that he forget that we are not in the military era. Then if Mr. President allow Ashwani Bola Ahmed Tinubu to advise him then, I don't think we find ourselves in this kind of situation. Why am I saying that? Pastor Ojo said something earlier that president, governor, others, they don't need to put anything in the party politics. I dare to disagree with him. You know why? The president has a lot of things to do. Can you leave a party for a chairman that is not courageous enough? Can you leave a party issue for a chairman that is unbiased? Are you getting it? So if a party chairman is so biased to the extent that you decide When the politics is going on in the party, and therefore the chairman should to be the other way around. You cannot leave us into the party. What am I saying in essence is that we will continue to find ourselves in this kind of situation until Nigeria citizens. And then, we are party people. We can be able to contribute our own quota. Especially we have money back. In the party is the one that's ruling the party. And then the last caller said something that they are talking about party, they forget Nigeria. I can tell that last caller that power, they will never give you the power. You will fight it to take it by yourself. You will fight it. If you don't fight to take the power, nobody will give you that power. So what I'm not saying in essence is that now the APC need to do now is that for me, whether they hold the Congress, there will be problem. Whether they don't hold the Congress, there will be problem. But the one thing they should do quickly is that finally they should be able to set up a committee that will go to handle the problem that is going to come up after the Congress. If they fail to do that, I don't think it is good enough for them.
Yakub, I felt like asking you who picks members of the committee. So we'll go back to the starting point.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Talking about
mutual mistrust, mutual suspicion.
You know, we're coming from military government for the past many years, and we can see that
we have
most
not
recovered.
Most of the,
we have not fully recovered.
No, you.
And those who are also in control are also from those who have been in military government, and we're having that one on ground. That's the reason the issue of youth participating in politics, that say the youth are not doing anything to participate. Now look at it. There is no, even in APC, no convention. How will youth participate? How will they come in that, okay, I want elective position, even at party level? So once you have that,
even from the ward level.
Even from the ward level, from the ward level, it's being controlled. That's the reason we said, I'm saying that, what Mr. President is saying, although I'm not saying that he should dictate for the party, that's the issue I have on that. I'm not saying governor, president should not participate. They should only participate quietly like just every members of the party. But what I'm saying is that if they have this internal democracy, and which was the Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu have said, and that's what the president re-echo, that let us have that internal democracy. Once we have that, it will be easier for you to participate. Once you know that it is those people who are already recycling themselves that will be there, like the committee is talking about.
You're only hoping...
like the committee is talking about. Who is going to appoint the committee? They will still pick themselves. They will pick themselves the same thing. It will be same. It is better to go for that internal democracy where everybody will come out. I want to contest for this position. I want to contest for this position. It is going to help. For those who want to aspire for governorship, presidency, they are starting their democracy from that party level. So they can now graduate to
Solomon,
the external.
I know you have, but let me add this to what you are going to say, to help what you are going to say. Yes, he may not have recovered from the military in us. But I want you to remember that Harry Truman, President Harry Truman, was a soldier who became president. Take it home. President Olusegun Obasanjo, a retired soldier, is now in the, was in the saddle in 1999 through 2007. General, retired General Muhammadu Buhari, a soldier, and so on. He is now confined to playing by the rule book, the Constitution. So the military, whether the military was there or not, is a tame logic in 2018.
I don't think it is a tame logic. Perceptions and way people think.
Sorry, let's quickly take it. Kunle, thank you for holding on. Yeah, welcome. Kunle, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, you are on.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? You are on.
Yes, Kunle is my name from Ikuruju. Yes, you see, let's call the state. Yes, I can hear you.
No, ignore the echo, please. You go on.
You want to call a state. Now, you see, in 19 1999, you see, sorry to use the word, President Obasanjo started this issue. He started this issue. The chairman of the party is the leader of the party. Is the leader of the party. When you say this, because who comes first? Is the chairman. When they start the party, is the chairman. But because of what happened between him and Solomon Lau, or whoever at that time, before it comes to Ogbe and all that, he decided to say that.
Sorry about that. But he was building up to something. So, Solomon, I said elsewhere on this station yesterday, I took us back to Second Republic, where the chairman of the then NPN was Chief Augustus Meredith Adisa Akinloye. He was leader of the party. Shagari was the president. He was seen to be leader. So what has changed?
What has changed is the way we look at things and probably the evolution of time. But you must understand, the evolution with time rather. But you must understand that we've been here before. The same President Olusegun Obasanjo you talked about carried out what you call PR, which is a natural thing you do in any organization when you have what you call previously unidentified recruitment errors or previously unidentified retrenchment errors, which of course the PDP went through during the Obasanjo years, where in a situation where he wasn't happy with the interest and the trajectory of the party, he had to move to change the leadership of the party. And at some point when he fell, as the president representing, the president is the best market of the ruling party.
We'll come to that. Gerald is waiting patiently in Abuja. Gerald, good morning to you.
Good morning, my uncle.
The
outstanding citizen of the Federal Republic
of Nigeria Limited.
Yes, I'm trying, not to conflict with number one citizen, but
No. I'm my own citizen. Thank you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you. Uncle Jones, you made this, reference to, I think, one of the great authors and what he said, which, basically, me paraphrasing now says, woe betide that man who goes out seeking to please everybody. President Buhari is learning that the hard way right now.
Yeah.
And let me come back home to refer to the late sage, Gani Fawemi, who says, it is criminal to seek to be lawful and law-abiding in a lawless, society. Again, the experience of the president can attest to that. Why do I say this? This is a president that came in. Look at, his, mindset. I don't want to be overly politicized. I want to entrench internal democracy. He considered the leadership of the party to Asiwaju, contrary to what has always obtained his return to democracy, PDP. The president is the leader of the party. And what did he get for that? What he got was the simply crisis we are facing right now. And let me say quickly, the lawyer in the studio, made a case. I'm sure he's well-intentioned, but he was a bit too idealistic. The truth of the matter is that what is happening now is teaching us that we as a country, we are not ready to play by the rules. We are not ready to play by the books. We do not actually want things to work well because the president came in and said, I want to be president. Like the lawyer refers to updates in U.S., where the president focuses on the whole nation and his party plays the politics. This president wanted to do that. But what happened? The crisis of who becomes Senate president, which he tried to stay away from, is rocking governance right now. The fight in APC won't allow him to focus because by keeping quiet and saying, let's play party politics at party politics level and let me do governance, it is not allowing him to govern. So what do you mean? He should become an Obasanjo who sacks PDP chairman 10 times, imposes who becomes Senate president, decides who become, we are not ready. And what is a Nigerian saying? They are not actually standing and defending the man that tried to do the right thing. Now we are calling him a novice, one who should have done it the way it has always been done. What are we saying? I end by saying we are not yet ready because he did everything ordinarily right. The political demagogue did what they normally do, and Nigerians are blaming him. So let Buhari come out and play politics. Let him cook up people and sack Senate president, impose the right man, bulldoze his way, because that's what we like.
Okay.
I still stand with the president, though. Few shortcomings notwithstanding, we are not right, gentlemen.
But I stand by the law, what the law books say.
And he is standing by the law.
Good.
The law simply says don't go unconstitutional.
Good. So we're on the same page. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Obasanjo had 5 Senate presidents in 8 years. Was that healthy for our politics?
Well, that situation is not healthy, because there should be a transition. Because it's a distraction, and we can witness what happened to the president, Senate president, that there was a distraction during the time he was facing trial, and there's a lot of distraction, and there's a lot of compromise, and such situation leads to compromise. It's better to have stability, and there is no perfect situation. So you have to maintain stability in ensuring that you deliver to the people what the people want, the mandate given to you, the manifesto, what you promise, the election promise must be delivered. So instead of creating...
And allow the party to play politics.
Yes.
You do the business of running the affairs of the country.
The party, if they work...
Sorry, let me quickly take Onifade. He's in Lagos here. Onifade, welcome.
Good morning, please.
I greet you, sir.
Onifade is my name.
Yep.
Please, I want to make a comment. The problem with APC is the chairman of APC. The chairman himself is the problem. If the president left him the way he was leading the party, he would destroy the party. He's the most lethargic chairman of a party I have seen in Nigeria.
In your estimation?
Lethargic.
In your estimation, yeah.
And you see what is happening? The pull him down syndrome, the approach they developed against Ashwaju, is what is causing all the problem. Pull him down, destroy him, diminish him. And the chicken is coming home to roost.
Okay, so we prepare the home for the chicken.
I love it.
Yeah. So Solomon, so what's happening is healthy for our politics?
I do not want to agree that it is healthy. When certain interests have not been seen to put the party's interest in tandem with the interests of governance and government, the people in government must make sure that the party's interests and the interests within the party are aligned with the purpose of governance, which was what President Obasanjo tried to do with the PDP, because he felt he did not have a grasp of things and that things were moving in a direction that his government wouldn't want. It wasn't just about the party, it was about governance. Because as long as APC has not had the neck for 3 years, it was in the interest of the people who did not want it so. And now that the president has started to wade in, you see that the governors have come in tow with the president. So the point should be made that the APC needs a pure. And this pure, some people are afraid that it's going to rock things and probably dislodge them in their interest. But the APC needs to correct what you call previously unidentified recruitment errors. Okay. They need to put that straight so that the party can face the election years ahead.
All right, Mukhtar is waiting in Kano. Mukhtar, welcome.
Hello, good morning.
How do you do, sir?
Fine, thank you. Let me say once again that democracy, a real democracy is all about good governance, improving the lives of the people. So I don't know why Nigerians of about 180 people are listening to only one person that caused destruction in the nation, divides the polity of the nation. I can't understand that. We are educated. We know what is good and what is bad for us. And there is always conflict between this person and that party in the same party.
So there is kind of internal problem that exists because they don't care about people that voted for them. And democracy is about the rule of law. What does the law say? If your tenure expires, you have to leave. People come and go, but the nation remains. The nation is more important than any other individual. So I cannot understand people, you see, in APC, especially APC, I always call it, a party of convenience. Because what is happening is not supposed to happen. People are suffering. People are facing difficulty. People are in hardship. Why quarreling between chairman, executive, party leaders, and all the rest?
Yeah, Mukhtar, without meaning to be holding brief for anybody, government or otherwise, we had been suffering in this country long before now. But thank you for your contribution.
We voted these parties into power to improve our standard of living.
You were not looking for magicians, Mukhtar.
I know, but we're people.
Good. We say it's a nascent process, so we are still in the classroom. Thank you, Mukhtar, for calling.
Thank you.
Yeah, so in taking this thing home, I said from the beginning, these were 4 strange bedfellows, became APC. You think the bed is still the same?
Well, from indication and the way they carried out the election at the last time, it doesn't show that there is any division between them. Even the way they have been doing it, if not that some people want to continue to hold on to the power, that's the reason they can't hold the convention. They don't want to change, despite the fact that the tenure has expired. So that is the only thing.
Will expire in June.
Will expire in June. So which is, they're supposed to be preparing for the election. So instead of what I say there is that it's not that there is a division per se based on their alignment before. I've not seen them making that openly. I may not know what is in their mind, but openly we've not seen that, except we are just, it will be a conjecture to just say that
we're just
it is
fighting.
because, so what I see is that they see themselves as one and they are fighting that one. The only thing is that the interest, those who want to continue holding and they want to be powerful. And one thing I want them to know that is the error of the past administration, that you want to continue. You cannot be in the face of the people for life. There is transition.
Thank you. Solomon, is the bed still one?
I think that at the moment, it seemingly looks one, despite all of the wronglings. It's a natural thing, conflict within an organization. You need to identify where the conflict is coming from, because there are different power grids and power blocks within the same block or within the same organization. At this moment, there is no factionalization in the party, that should be said, whether at the national level, at the state level, at the ward level, the party is intact.
Even though you are hearing of defections and so on?
Well, it's natural. People have to look for their space within the political space where they can blossom, where they can, attain their ambitions. So what we need to look at...
I hear we must go.
Right.
Now you are like the Lister engine, too hard to start, too difficult to stop. But I think it's been an interesting morning. And Barrister Ojo Akewale, I'm asked to give you a bar of gold outside of this studio. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Solomon Ajuziogu is an insider. We know how to settle you. But thank you very much.
Have I been with you this long and you struggle to pronounce my surname? Ajuziogu.
Ajuziogu.
Yes.
Mi Remido. I've got it.
Okay.
But thank you. Thank you. Thank you very kindly. All right, folks. Let me drop this. Doing the right thing may not make you happy, but it will make you great. I drop anchor here. On behalf of the Backroom Boys, I say thank you. There's another program tomorrow. We are here at 10:30 in the morning. Join us. Bye-bye now.